Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. This is just general share advice with the one and only the wonderful Wolfie. What a presentation you get, Wolf. I tell you.
You have to. You're only telling the truth.
All right, Wolf. Just before we start, there's 4 stories that we're going to talk about today. SRG. Good story, had a little bit of a hiccup. Now, if you got out when it went below the trend line, if it looks like this by the end of the week, you could get back in.
And I want to get back in. I want to get back in because this company is on an upgrade cycle, remember, right? Obviously, strange, like you said, fell below, probably because of that insider selling, management selling a bit of shares, right? Which happens and unfortunately throws these low liquidity stocks out. Go below the thing, so you got to respect it. But if it gets back, like you said, if the story's still intact overall, you want to get back into these stories because more positive news coming. We saw today another 50 million contract with Water Corp, which I think that puts now over 1.1 billion in work in hand. So, Dave, this is still, I reckon, still an upgrade cycle. Possibly another little updates in the next 2 or 3 months could see further upgrades, right? So I really want to get back into this story. I just want to see it getting back over that trend line
by the end of the week. All right, now let's talk about LLL.
Yes,
Leo Lithium. Oh wow, talk about a rocket. I mean, I think what we did say with this, it was going for the roof. Just lift that stop, wasn't it? Under $1 from memory.
We were actually debating whether you take a profit or whether you hold on for the ride. And I was talking about it, that it's still got a lot of value to come if they keep coming with some decent results compared to some others. They had 100 million tons at about 1.4 lithium, and then what they come out today is they've actually put an extra 50% of that onto that total, Dave. So they've got over 200 million in tons. This is almost like the biggest now, very close to the biggest lithium deposit globally, with a very good grade. So what do you do then with this? I think you just keep lifting stop loss because it still looks like it's cheaper than some of the other stuff going around. But, the one thing is going against it is Mali. I mean, how safe is Mali? What price are you put on Mali?
I mean, listen, there's the risk. And then obviously if this was in Australia, you'd feel more comfortable maybe.
Oh, this would be about $3 if it was in Australia.
So, yeah, again, that stop loss is still pretty there, just under $1, isn't it? The question is, would you buy it and then put a stop on it?
Well, let's look at again. I think it's traders' world out there. You do whatever you want to feel like doing. You've got nice announcements. I mean, the other thing is you've got to understand what else is coming, right? Because you might go, okay, that's the last announcement maybe for the next 2 or 3 months. Traders might leave this come back, so you've got to just check if there's anything more coming. And if you are going to set yourself, use that dollar. I think it's a pretty good support line, Dave, now. So potentially you've got that further upside if the market decides to keep re-rating this upwards, right? But at least you protected yourself. So
and it's high risk, right? So
100%. Yeah. But it is at least you're buying quality lithium deposit here, really. I mean, you can't really get any better than this. This is very, very good.
All right. Okay. The next one is LRS. So they're up 3.5%, and they're sort of motoring, right? From a technical point of view, you look at this and you say, okay, you've got a really resistance there at 20. You've got a natural stop just under 20. Then you look at the lithium results, and they're fairly average, aren't they?
Well, they're not bad, but definitely not something like a LLL, I don't think, right? But then you see, okay, so let's this is a good little comparison between LLL and LRS. So LRS comes out today with an upgrade to their resources, right? So then they've 200% upgrade the resource. So you think, yeah, great, but it's still only 45 million tons versus 212 million tons, right? So that's 4 or 5 times as big, LLL. Yet market cap of LRS is $500 million versus LLL.
It's 1 billion.
Yeah, right. Versus 1.3 billion. You can see the difference here, and you think Brazil Mali, I mean, is there much difference? Probably not. I mean, if you want to get a project up and going, you can probably argue that you're going to have trouble in both countries, wouldn't you?
Well, I would argue Mali's maybe easier, Wolf.
Well, there you go. So, you know, it's an interesting question to pose. Which way would you be going better? Look, if I was investing, if anyone was looking for a great deposit, I'd be looking for LLL first, then LRS second.
All right.
Yeah.
So again, so what you're saying,
Much
you
more
wouldn't-
value in this. Yeah, absolutely. If someone wants a big player wants to take this out, they're still getting a lot more value out of this LLL. 200 million tons. This is going to be a ball terror of a mine if anyone can get this going.
All right. Now AZS.
Yeah.
Again, this one's
This is
had
another lithium player, right? That had a huge jump last week on some results. And again, the results are fairly similar-ish to what we saw last week, right? Is it enough to push it higher? Like I said, I don't think so. I mean, I thought it's gone way too high anyway on the results. I prefer LLL. I prefer LRS, to be honest, with some of the results, right? And if you see it overall, I think once they do their own calculations and the resource, it's going to be much lower grade than LLL, LRS, and possibly, size-wise, I'm not sure, maybe LRS size, but, it's still very early. But let's look at AZS, for example, as a market cap, right? And you've got almost 500 million bucks. So you've got almost an LRS size with nothing as yet as LRS's type deposits. So there you go. It just shows what sort of value LLL still has, possibly.
All right, that's brilliant. It's a good little session, Wolf. We'll
Yeah,
look through. We'll look through the.
Perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gives you these pumps that definitely LLL is the best story. Wolf, just have a quick look. Obviously, we did have a look at BXB yesterday. It's really is shaping up absolutely beautifully. And I just wanted, before we go today, we're going to have a pretty quick video today, but Goodman Group. If it looks like that by the end of the week, it really is looking like you could have a nice little run back up to that sort of 22. It looks extremely good. My question for you, Goodman Group, why is it looking a little bit better, Wolf? Because it's the wrong, you could argue it's the wrong environment for it, or it's
you can possibly say that, right? And you think to yourself, real estate, doesn't matter what it is, you'd probably think there's high risk attached to that. But you got to then start probably delving a little bit deeper into this. So I'd classify GMG as probably the premier builder of warehousing globally, right? Amazon's, everyone loves GMGs. I was reading an article about the Japanese. They love the warehousing that they're providing in some of their Japanese cities. It's almost futuristic. It's almost like a Google type setup, right, for the offices. It's crazy. I've been reading, seeing some pictures. Amazing what they do, GMG, right? So it's just a premier builder of warehousing and distribution for companies out there, and that seems to be growing because we know that e-commerce is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So that will always probably be a possible. The other thing is that which is very, very important in this market, their balance sheet is incredibly strong, so they don't have too much debt on their books, unlike some of the outcomes. So if the interest rates rise and you have to service your debt much higher, these guys don't have a problem with that, right? They actually are very, very good operators. So when you think about it, the cream rises to the top. There you go. I mean, people gravitate in markets that maybe, you're looking for value, maybe looking for the great stories. GMGs definitely probably ticks a lot of the boxes.
All right, and you can have a look here, Wolf. Just go down the list. These BXB, Woolworths. You're seeing the sort of the more XROs, the NXTs, the cream of the stocks are still moving very nicely, aren't they?
Yeah, the cream of the crop, right? Again, there you go. The quality stories on ASX is actually going up.
All right. On that note, I'd like to thank you very much, Wolfie. Now, tonight we are live at 7 o'clock. Be there or be square.
Absolutely. See you tonight.
All right. See you, Wolfie. Thank you. Bye-bye.